I see colorism playing out in this Drake Kendrick thing.
Yeah, yeah,
Really?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, because I was talking to my wife about it the other day, and she was talking about how that even plays on us today, and with Drake and Kendrick, and some of the lines I can't remember which song it was, but he was like, "I don't want you saying the N word no more" and stuff like that. And I just want to know, what did you guys think about this whole beef so far, and do you see colorism playing into this?
It's funny. It's funny you mentioned that because I have a homie of mine is biracial. She's black and lumpy Indian, and she took offense to a lot of lines from Kendrick about Drake and felt like it was an unnecessary shot at people that were biracial, that were mixed. Um, I can kind of see the whole colorism aspect, even when you see like the most recent one, when he's talking about not like us. Like
Hmm.
it's not just that you're not, that you're not like us, but you're not black enough. You're not black enough. You don't understand the culture. You don't have a home base. Like it's the reason why he picked that song. It's the reason why it's very West Coast because he's basically saying, I have this sound that I can always go back to, that I'm from. This is where I'm from. Where are you from? You can't pull from Toronto. You can't pull from anywhere because you don't have a home base. And not only do you not have a home base, but you also not black enough. And you're probably a pedo. Like it's all these things kind of playing
Mhm.
playing on layered on top of each other.
Yeah, I think one of the things that got lost in this specific part of the conversation for the rap battle was that people thought that Kendrick was basically saying because you're biracial, when that wasn't the focus. The focus was you were raised by a Jewish mother in a Jewish community your entire life. And Drake has said it himself. You didn't grow up around black people. You definitely didn't grow up around black Americans because you grew up in Canada. And so you really don't have a sense of the culture. So you are not like us. So it's less about being biracial because if he was biracial, but he grew up in Memphis with his dad and grew up around black people
Yeah,
and the culture, nobody would have anything to say. That wouldn't be a talking
right,
point. You know
right.
what I'm saying? In terms of like colorism specifically in this, I think that colorism, for black men, colorism it hits a little different, right? Lighter skinned men are definitely looked at as more soft. Darker skinned men are absolutely looked at as more kind of like rugged and raw,
Yeah,
real black. I've gotten that my whole life, honestly. We ain't even gonna talk about that. And so it's like I can definitely see how people were, or even with Kendrick himself, we're just kind of picking at some of those talking points because we know that people will pick up on it subtly and
right.
it'll kind of add to, what I mean, what's going on and having people be on his side. So I definitely feel like colorism, it was definitely there. Let's say it was wrapped up in a
Yeah,
pretty bow with everything else.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Michael, you want to say something else?
No. I agree. I completely agree with all
Mhm.
his points with what he was saying. It's basically, you know, colorism was like an underlying layer there. And even if neither side said anything,
Right.
if no one said anything, the fact that Drake is super light skinned and that Kendrick was dark, if they don't say anything about it, the pop culture, the public, black folks would have picked up on it the entire way because we view Drake as soft just inherently. Like
Mm-hmm.
we view him as
Yeah.
a pretty boy just inherently. Nobody has to say anything for that. It's just ingrained in the culture.
Are you a content creator, YouTuber? Maybe you've interviewed someone on your video podcast and they said something that was really, really good, or maybe you said something that was really, really good. Well, enter Opus Clips. This is the platform that I use when I want to share 30 to 60-second video clips that I can share with the whole world. I mean, you can share those clips on TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram Reels, like these 30 to 60-second clips that Opus Clips can give to you with the click of a mouse. All you have to do is upload the recording and boom, Opus Clips within maybe 10 minutes will give you 15 to 25 different clips with description on the side of the video. And it also gives you like a title, and it gives you a rating and let you know how powerful that clip can be used on social media, from a rating of 99 all the way down to maybe 60. This is a phenomenal platform that has took my social media marketing to another level. If you want to level up your social media game, go in the description below right now and get the link for Opus Clips. This will not disappoint you. Mm. I was gonna say, did any of you ever witness that in your own personal life, Matt? I kind of heard you talk about that just for a second. You want to expound on that, or?
Oh man. I mean, if we're talking specifically, we're talking about like colorism and people being treated differently. I've had scenarios and situations growing up where I would be with friends who were even, lighter than me, but in terms of being like harassed by cops and police or being treated differently, where people assume very negative things about me ahead of time. Absolutely, brother. Like and it was just so like back in the day, it was so apparent, right? It was like right in your face, like,
Right.
now you look like you probably did something. You look like you probably, you know what I mean, type of thing. And it just became something that I honestly had to get used to. And what I did to kind of combat it is I would try to make myself as non-threatening looking as possible. And really being non-threatening from the standpoint of I'm not even really sure what puts people off or makes them feel funny. So I'm just going to try to be as non-threatening in the best way that I know possible. But, I'm also like middle school, high school. I don't really have a thorough understanding. So I'm just try to be nice to everybody so that people don't automatically assume, because and that's like outside of the culture, but even within the culture with other Black folks, I mean, I had friends who were light skinned that people automatically assumed were punks. Like you can't fight, you can't do this, you're not hard, you saw like that whole thing. And so it really does play into, and then on the flip side of that, there was almost this assumption that being darker skinned, I'm like this warrior or something. Like always ready to fight, always ready to rumble, always ready, you know what I'm saying? And it would just kind of be like, nah, I'm actually really chill. If we don't have to have any altercation, I'm not trying to have like for what. And so that was definitely just a couple examples of things that I've dealt with growing up and just seeing like the colorism play out in front of me.
What about your experience, Michael?
Wow. I remember very vividly, and my brother's not even all that light. I remember very vividly my brother telling me that he was brown and I was black. He was like, nah. I was like, nah, we about the same complexion. He's like, nah, you're brown and you're black. And I think a lot of that led to a bit of overcompensation on my part. I remember very vividly when I was a kid, um, being called White Mike and struggling with that idea of what it means to be black and how black am I,
Yep.
yeah. And as I got older, I think I overcompensated a bit, especially in my teenage years, because then, when I was a kid, most of my friends, I was pretty middle class. I was pretty middle class. As I got older, all my friends were black. I was black. I mean, ultra black. I'm listening to loud rap music. And I just said these are just stereotypical things, but I wanted to portray this image that I was ultra black. You know what I'm saying? To compensate for this idea that I wasn't black enough. And it's really it's this weird juxtaposition of like, hey, what does it mean to be black, and how can I look ultra black to people, but in my head I'm somewhere in the middle. Like it doesn't, like, I don't know, colorism from a darker standpoint, it kind of plays with you when you don't fit into the stereotypes the boxes that people put you in.
Yeah, I think for me, I realized I was dark. Well, not as dark, but dark enough. I got roughed up by the police one time, and I was just walking to the store. I never forget. I think I was probably about 20. So this was some years ago. I'm telling my age. Um, Going to the store, I'm going to buy some Black and Mild. So never forget. I came out and this police car just rushed in the parking lot. 3 police officers jump out. One's a lady, 2 guys, and a lady grabs me. I mean, I was shocked because I was like, whoa, right? And they just roughed me up. The other 2 cops, they threw me on the car and they looking for somebody. And they had I had my wallet on me. So they took my wallet and stuff. And they was like, who are you? And asked me all these questions. And I'm just still like shocked. Like, I was just going to buy something. I'm thinking, is Black and Miles illegal now?
Right.
You know? And they had me roughed up on the car and they looking through my wallet, looking at my ID and all sorts of stuff, seeing if I matched somebody that they were looking for. And come to find out, I wasn't that guy. And from that day forward, I was like, oh, I can really lose my life at any given moment, not just from my own people, but from the cops too. You know, so that was a moment for me. I was like, oh, so
you got really lucky because man, they'll pin a case on you easy.
Easy, right? Easy. And I've done anyway. I'll leave that.
Don't incriminate yourself now.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's keep it clean. Do either of you think colorism itself manifests different for Black men compared to Black women? Do you think, and this isn't a comparison, but do you think Black men have it harder than Black women when it comes to colorism?